It's never been more apparent that we need to be both accepting and welcoming to students from all cultures and backgrounds than it is now in our society. Children need to see themselves reflected in the things we do in our literature, in our lessons, in the ways we interact. Classroom cultures should be places where all of the cultures represented are celebrated. A great way to do that is to change the way we view integration of culture into the classroom. It needs to be a part of daily school life, not just something we focus on in February. The best way for younger children to explore other cultures is to meet them where they live, showing them that the things that are important to them are important to kids everywhere. And what's more important to kids than play? These games are simple, require very little in the way of prep and materials, and once introduced, kids can play them on their own. It's a great way to bring the world into your classroom. We've also tried to carefully select games with minimal person-to-person contact, and that work within social distancing guidelines unless otherwise noted. Outside games. Coco from India https www.youtube.com watch v equals 7 elxt 5 can feature equals udo.be. This is a really intense game of tag. It's perfect for days when students are extra wiggly and need to run around. The only downside to this particular game is that it would be hard to play with kids wearing masks. And because it is a version of tag, it may be challenging to play if your school has very strict outdoor social distancing rules. It's a really fun game, though, if those issues aren't prohibitive. One solution for tag games during the time of COVID, though, is tagging a person's shadow instead of actually touching the person. The tagger would just have to touch the child's shadow with their feet, then. This solution also naturally causes children to separate from each other so their shadows don't intermingle because then it's hard to tell who has been tagged. AMP from Ghana. AMP may be the perfect game for social distancing and fun. It's simple, it's quick, and you can play from 6 feet away from friends. Before you start playing, each partner picks either same or opposite. Basically, you do a jumping and clapping rhythm, then on the last jump, each player sticks out 1 foot. If both people kick out the foot on the same side, the person who picked same gets a point. If they kick out on the opposite side, the person who picked opposite gets a point. First person to 10 wins. 2-person version https www.youtube.com watch v equals xdhzlsb 7 can feature equals udo.be multiple players https www.youtube.com watch v equals mam213c4 byan feature equals udo.be unch niche from Pakistan. This is another fun form of tag. Unch means up and niche means down, so this version of tag is best played near playground equipment or something safe for kids to climb on. When the leader yells unch, up is base. Conversely, when they yell niche, the ground is base. Everything in the game proceeds as a typical game of US tag. See the solution from Coco which makes tag a bit safer during times of COVID outbreak. Hit the penny from South America. Lots of South American countries love this game, notably kids in Brazil and Chile. For this game, you'll need a stick with a flat top like one you'd use for yard sale signs or a dowel rod the diameter of a penny. You'll also need some coins. Place the coin on top of the stick which you'll put into the ground before gameplay. Also create a circle about 3 feet in diameter around the stick. Kids take turns throwing their own coins at the one on top of the stick. If their coin hits the one on top and knocks it down into the circle, or doesn't knock it off at all, they get no points. But, if they throw the coin and hit a coin from the stick out of the circle, they get 1 point. The first person to 10 points, or whatever predetermined point you choose, wins. Pololo from Ghana. Ghana is a great resource for fun outdoor games. Another popular game is Pololo, a hide-and-seek racing game. The person chosen to be it gathers up a small group of pebbles, tiny sticks, or some other small objects. Pennies can work well, too, and shows the grouping to the other players so they know what they are searching for. Then the group hides their eyes while the hider finds a good spot to conceal the stash. The hider returns to the group, who races to search for the hidden treasure. Once found, each player takes 1 item from the pile, and the game becomes a foot race to see who can reach the hider the fastest. The first one to return with an object from the pile wins and becomes the next player to hide the pile of objects. Games that can be played anywhere. Jacks. One very popular, highly portable, easy-to-play game is what we call Jacks in the use. Just introducing the game Jacks is fun for many students because they may have never been introduced to the game before. If you haven't ever played, here's a quick tutorial. https://www.youtube.com watch V equals BWQ96. Some sets of the game with 5 jacks and a small bouncy ball are pretty inexpensive. You could actually get a class set of bouncy balls and use anything as the jacks, like seeds, rocks, dry beans, flat marbles, etc. Most dollar stores sell sets of jacks if you want to go that route. The fun thing about this game is that it's old enough that there are versions from all around the world. In Somalia and India the game is called 5 stones and is played with actual stones or pebbles. Here's a video explaining the rules for this variation. https YouTube MWT5H7QV27U. In South Korea the game is similar but is played with cute little plastic pieces. https YouTube Safes 4 Asbgzi. In Singapore they play with these adorable mini beanbags. https www.youtube.com watch V equals WZ7 Creek 9 MV1H8. The version of this game from Botswana is a little different. It's called Daiketo. Instead of just picking the stones up each time, you either dig a little pit in the ground or draw a circle on the ground and use that to either sweep the stones into or pick the stones out of. https www.youtube.com watch V equals h-update me and feature equals udo.be. Any of these versions of the game Jacks can be played with multiple sets of materials so that students don't have to share. It's even a fun game to play alone. That makes this a perfect time filler. Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors is another very old game with lots of fun variations. Most kids know how to play the US version, so here are a few other versions they might enjoy learning. Semet, orang, gajah from Sumatra, or ant, person, elephant is almost the same as rock, paper, scissors, but who doesn't love the idea of an elephant being taken down by a tiny ant? https udo.bevqbf4iwami T equals 67. This version from South Korea involves 2 hands. https Wuiao to become watch V equals SFXBFHDLE. This school year, there are going to be lots of opportunities for stress. Don't forget to make time for fun and games. It's good for you, good for your students, and it also provides more understanding about the world around us, both geographically near and far.